From 1999's Never Been Kissed movie, that's Erase Rewind, number 16 here in Ireland for the Cardigans. And before that song, you were listening to Greg, who's left me a message on the station Scrabble board saying that he shall return tomorrow at 8 p.m. Well, good evening, my fellow night owls, and welcome to Freedom FM's Night Cruise, your soundtrack to a mellow, magical night. My name is Feargal, and I'm here to play 2 hours of the best romance, relaxation and retro classics from the 90s and noughties. But you know what? It's not just about the music now, is it? Because we've got some fun to sprinkle in along the way. You see, after midnight, we'll be diving into the Love Lyrics game, where you get to flex those memory muscles and guess the song and artist behind some iconic 90s and noughties lyrics. While in this hour, it's all about Monday Punday, where your clever wordplay could be the star of the show. So, are you ready to get involved? Good. And you can drop me a message on WhatsApp or text to 0862068888. That's 0862068888. Not into WhatsApp? Then maybe email is the way to get in touch. You can do that on hello@freedomfm.ie. And of course, if you really want to follow my rather boring life, then I'm online at Voice Actor Fergs across Insta, Threads, Blue Sky and says.us. So my friends, with all the important guff done for another night, why don't you and I get together and make some night cruise memories starting in 3, 2, 1. A December 2008 number 2 for Take That, which they were probably hoping would be the Christmas number 1. That's The Greatest Day right here on Freedom FM. And my friends, let's switch gears, shall we? Because it's now time to tickle those brain cells and unleash your inner wordsmiths with this week's Monday Punday game. Now listen, if you're new to the cruise, first of all, welcome, and we're glad to have you. And secondly, where on earth have you been? But now that you're here, let me tell you what the deal with Monday Punday is. You see, in a moment, I'm going to throw out a theme, and your job is to mix that theme with the name of a band, celebrity, or fictional character to create a pun to make us all laugh, or at least groan in a good way. Now, if you're scratching your head and still wondering to yourself how this all works, let me give you this week's theme and a few examples to get the ball rolling. So, this week's theme, my friends, is cheese. And why cheese, you ask? Well, it all started with a friend of mine visiting from France, because why not? And she brought over a glorious case of cheese as a present. Think creamy, crumbly, and everything in between. And as I was munching my way through this dairy dream, I thought to myself, why not share the joy with the Night Cruise Collective? And let's see if we can make some cheesy puns. And that, my friends, is your challenge. Make a pun by combining any celebrity, band or fictional character name with all things cheese. And to kickstart your creativity, here are a couple of examples that I came up with myself. And admittedly, they are all awful. Starting with the person who seemed never to be out of the gossip pages back in the day. You remember Paris Stilton? No, not working for you. Okay, let's try a band that spans the 80s to today, and who'll be in town in a few weeks' time. It's Simply Red Cheddar, or Leicester, whatever you prefer. Now, I know you can do way better than me, so send in your cheese-themed pun creations on text or WhatsApp to 0862068888. That's 0862068888, and let's hear what you've got. The cheesier, my friends, the better. As I said just a moment ago, Simply Red will be here soon, and if you fancy catching their gig on September 24th, the good news is there are still plenty of tickets floating about. Anyway, my friends, let's get back to the business at hand here on Freedom FM's Night Cruise, namely tonight's Monday Punday game. Our little wordplay workout where the challenge is to mix the theme of the week with a celebrity, band or fictional character name to craft a pun to make us all smile. And this evening's theme is cheese. And as always, you've managed to deliver the goods. So let's jump right in with some of your genius creations, shall we? And first up, let's say hello to Mary Hughes in Santry, who's been busy on WhatsApp. Mary says, you haven't eaten cheese until you've had some Edamski. Brilliant stuff, Mary. That put a smile on my face, and thank you for reaching out. Now, up next, it's Sean Healy in Derry, who's been creative online and gone with the US rock band Twisted Swiss Cheester. Very clever, Sean. Looks like being up this late hasn't dulled your wit one bit now, has it? And finally for now, Dan Kelly, who's in Bray, has chipped in with Camembert grilled. Now, Dan, I have to be honest with you and say that is just Gouda gold. Thanks for the laugh. So, what about you? Did you have any cheese puns that could top those beauties? Well, I'm sure you do. So whether it's sharp, smooth, or downright crumbly, we'd love to hear it. So send in those cheese-themed celebrity band or fictional character name puns to me now on WhatsApp to 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. It's the Night Cruise from Freedom FM, and I've just been nosing around in our big book of 90s and noughties trivia, looking specifically, as you do this time of the night, at June 2009. And I can tell you that in the cinema, we were all watching Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, or not. Roger Federer won his one and only French Open title, and Lady A released the fantastic Need You Now. It's Freedom FM's Night Cruise, where we are inching closer to midnight, but before Tuesday rolls around, we do need to wrap up tonight's dose of Monday Punday, the game where you mix a theme with a celebrity, band, or fictional character name to create a pun that makes us all smile. And this evening, you've been making your puns using the theme of cheese. So let's dive into the final batch of your brilliant entries, shall we? And first up this time round, it's Sheila Meehan from Malahide, who's gone with Gorgonzola Ramsay. You know, Sheila, I can just picture him yelling in the kitchen right now, probably over some poorly made fondue. Anyway, that was a great pun. Thank you for getting involved tonight. Now, up next, it's Claire Meehan in Carrick Mines. Good evening to you, Claire. And you've come up with Cheese Puff Daddy. And talking of things I can imagine, I can see him in the prison cell right now, trading a cheese puff for a phone call. Thanks for that, Claire. Now, let's move over to Saggart, shall we? Where Richard Walsh has been on. And Richard has gone with Parmesan pen, which is absolutely genius. What can I say? You've knocked it out of the park, Richard. Thank you for sharing that. And finally for this evening, Ollie Heath has been in touch with Blue Reed. Simple, effective, and oh so clever. I love it, Ollie. Thanks a million. Now, unfortunately, that is all the time we've got for this week's Monday Punday. A huge thank you to everyone who joined in tonight. If I didn't read out your pun on air, rest assured that I read it, and it probably made me smile. And if you enjoyed tonight's bit of wordplay, make sure to mark your diaries for next Monday, just after 11 p.m. Gather your family, call your friends, and join me as we do this all over again. And you know what? There's no need to wander off just yet, because we've got the Love Lyrics game coming up right after midnight. And I'll tell you more about that in a moment.